on air, online, and on demand. Sacramento's only local talk at night, The Bruce Maiman Show, on News Talk 1530 and KFBK.com. Here's Bruce Maiman.
All right, here we are. Hello, and good evening. Welcome to hour number one of the Bruce Maiman program on News Talk 1530 KFBK. If you have a moment, I would like for you to go to our website, KFBK.com, and use the keyword Bruce, and you'll open up the homepage there. Actually, if you open up the page now, just click on the picture of your effervescent host, and just go to that page. There's a link there I'd like you to click when you get a chance. Our first hour is going to be about Memorial Day, and I don't mean the selling of cars or the buying of a pair of shoes or hitting the road early so you can make it to whatever destination that you had in mind. I appreciate that people do those things, and no offense to many of our clients who do have all those obnoxious sales on holidays like this. But Memorial Day is not about that. Memorial Day used to be called Decoration Day. You might recall, some of you. It comes out of the Civil War, actually. Decoration Day because on Decoration Day, in commemoration for all those who fell in the Civil War, the graves of those who died in that enterprise were decorated with flowers and other things that expressed our gratitude for their sacrifice. And, of course, that was a bitterly fought war with one half the country hating the other half. Now, as we've come forward in our history from the Civil War, we broadened Decoration Day to start calling it Memorial Day because we included the war dead from other engagements. And you know them all, unfortunately, men and women who fell in the First World War, the Second World War, Korea, followed by Vietnam and two Gulf Wars, one of which is ongoing. And it's supposed to be a very somber weekend, but most of us don't spend a lot of time thinking about that. We treat it as a holiday, the traditional start of the summer. How many times did you hear that this week? We're basically too busy living to think about those who died so we could live as busily as we do. And I often think of Lincoln at this time of year, who it'd be a little bit over a month from now that he would deliver that Gettysburg Address in 1863 in Pennsylvania. And when he said, "We honor those who gave the last full measure of devotion so that liberty might survive." So I invite you to go to the webpage for this program and invite you to honor and remember and check out the link that says this link. It's highlighted in the traditional blue that most web pages have to tell you to follow the link. And then give yourself about 6 or 7 minutes to sit and watch. It is a video that is very powerful and has a kind of poignancy that requires the sort of maturity that one doesn't expect from a 15-year-old who put it together. And we have guests in the studio here. I want you to meet them. I wanted to, because Dave Jenest, who does Operation Hope, or rather in Sacramento here, he's pretty much said all this stuff, and he asked me to go to Lizzie first. So Lizzie Palmer from Ohio, in Columbus, right, Lizzie?
Yes. Good
evening. You're on KFBK. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm impressed is how I am. I watched this video this afternoon, and in fact, the two people who are here with me, who we'll meet in a moment, were just blown away by it and saying, how does a 15-year-old is able to have that kind of grasp to deliver that kind of power in a video like that? And so that's a high compliment because we're all old farts in here. And so I need to ask you how it was, where you have that capacity, where that came from as a 15-year-old. We mostly think of 15-year-olds hanging out in the mall and being, standing in line right now to wait and see Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean. So where did that come from?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the answer I expected you to have, and that's probably the right answer, too. Your interest in this goes back how far? You're 15, and your interest in the military and the troops and the kinds of things that people don't talk about until they're grown-ups. Where did that come from? How did that start?
I don't know how it started exactly. I guess I just was more of a tomboy when I was younger, and I wasn't interested in the pink dresses or whatever. It was just I had more guy friends than I had friends that were girls.
Oh, I bet that made your dad happy.
I don't know.
Okay. Now, what did it take to put this together? I don't know how I can walk you through this. We have two guests in the studio here, and, of course, I've since forgotten the names, and I don't have the information right here in front of me, so you're going to have to do this. One of you is Alicia Wood Ferguson. Which one of you is that? That's you, and you're with Soldiers Angels, right, because you have the shirt on. And you're with Chicks with Crisis, and that's
in Crisis,
and that's
but they do have
Inez
crisis.
Whitlow, right?
Inez,
oh,
yes.
Inez, okay. So Inez and Alicia say hi to Lizzie.
Hi, Lizzie.
Hi.
And they both said the same thing, too. I mean, were you not impressed with how...
I cried. When I first, it got emailed to me by one of my other friends, and I sat and I watched it, and I just started to cry because I have so many friends that are in the military. My ex-husband was stationed in the military, so I got to go overseas when I was young to see what was going on, and you really touched my heart and made me want to step up and even do more. If you're 15 and I'm 43, I think I can do just as much as you can at 15.
Well, think of what this gal will be able to accomplish in the next 30 years by the time she's 43.
Exactly, right? And that's what I think is so awesome about these young kids growing up. A lot of them are liberals. They have a different view on things, and they're starting to talk about it, and they are our future. And for young ladies like Lizzie to step up and say, check it out, this is affecting us, and it's going to affect us.
Let me briefly describe it as best as one can on the radio. You really need to see it. So do go to the KFBK website, kfbk.com, and then the keyword is Bruce, and then you'll see on the summaries page right there, just where it says click link, and click that and watch. It is basically a montage set to sort of that new age kind of music. It's kind of piano music is what I remember. And you just see images of soldiers, and you see images of the fallen and the people who are grieving in Arlington. And I recognized, I thought, a shot of Arlington there. And then you see the soldiers coming home, the ones who do come home. And basically, the montage is called Remember Me. So sometimes out of sight, out of mind. And I'll tell you, Lizzie, a lot of times we talk about this, and maybe you can concur, Alicia, or Inez, that we are not on a war footing, you know. And I think part of that is because we never really started this thing the right way. We didn't have a declaration of war. We didn't have Congress debating this. We really didn't know what we were getting into. And now we have so many distractions. This is costing us $1 billion or whatever it is a week, whatever the figure is, and it's hurting us in the pocketbook and maybe so in the long term, and we don't make sacrifices. Look at what we're doing this weekend. We're all, what's the story today? Oh, the price of gas. We're all going out of town. We're cutting back by not eating at the restaurant, or eating at the fast food place. When I don't want to tune into what's going on in Afghanistan or Iraq, oh, good. American Idol is on. Oh, and look what these morons are talking about over on Fox, and I'm sure they're probably doing it on the other cable stations. Rosie O'Donnell. Look how important that is to focus on, because the war in Iraq can be put out of our minds, and I think that's really unfortunate, which is why a video like the video you did, Lizzie, is as powerful as it is. And I wish Fox News would be showing that right now than looking at all these people, these so-called experts in the... Is it Elizabeth versus Rosie or Rosie versus Elizabeth? I guess it depends on which one of the cable networks you're watching, huh? I don't know. Lizzie, how do you feel about that sort of thing, that we just sort of, we turn a deaf ear because there are so many other distractions, we don't even have to think about what's going on out there?
It's something that's more, a lot of people don't want to think about it.
Why?
They'd rather think about what's going on with them. They don't want to think about what could happen, or I don't have anybody over there, so it doesn't apply to me. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the thing is, we do have somebody over there. Even if it's not a family member, we have somebody over there.
We do.
Yeah.
You know. Well, do you talk to your friends about this? People who are 15 and 17 and 19, like that 22-year-old guy that you have a crush on, or other people who are around your age or a little younger. Do you guys talk about this sort of stuff?
Some of my friends do. A few of my friends are trying to start a debate team at my school, so we just talk about what's going on in our world a lot, and we discuss our opinions on it, and we take a look at things that our peers don't even care about, because they think it's like they've got a few years before they need to pay attention to that kind of stuff. So I know the video's on YouTube. Have you gotten much response from that? What do you mean?
Have people seen it on YouTube? Have you gotten any kind of feedback at all, or even feedback just immediately if you've shown it to friends or a teacher or what have you?
Oh, a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
There's constantly comments being put on it and people telling me what they thought of it, and it's a lot.
Please don't tell me you're getting any negative comments.
Oh, there's plenty of those.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of who? This is difficult because we're not on television and can't share this. But you really need to see this on the web. I can't imagine anybody would have anything negative to say. Is there anything in particular that's a common thread that you can share that they send that's negative?
There's some people that are saying I'm government propaganda and that I'm not really who I say I am. And there's other people that start arguments about their opinion on the war and stuff, and they're always just putting each other down and just completely acting like children.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you would know. But do they not realize that it's in one sense it's very easy to separate the two? You don't have to like the war but you can respect what the American armed forces are doing.
Apparently, some of them can't see that, so.
I've never been able to understand that. Well, is there a website that you'd like to promote personally, Lizzie? I know your videos on. Well, we've been asked here on the radio to always say go to KFBK, and you will get to the website on which you will find this particular video. But is there any other website that you'd like to promote aside from Patriot Watch?
Anysoldier.com is a really good website that it allows people to send care packages and words of encouragement to soldiers, and the soldiers themselves tell you what they need, and they thank people for what they do get, and it's just a really good area to do that with.
Okay. Well, Liz, I'd like to tip my hat to you. You know, I'm no fan of this war. Anybody who listens to this program with any degree of regularity will know that. And I'm no fan of this administration. But I can completely separate the two from the kind of integrity and honor and sacrifice that represents members of the armed forces. Alicia, you wanted to say something before we take a break?
Lizzie, I wanted to just encourage you to continue to do what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I was one of those people 3 years into the war. I was doing my own thing. I wasn't paying attention to anything that was going on outside of my world. And Master Sergeant Bill Facio became a pen pal of mine a year ago, and he lit the fire in me, inspired me, and continues to help me just look forward to helping the soldiers. And what you're doing is phenomenal. And no matter how much negative feedback comes back, every positive that you light, every person you inspire is incredible and will continue to go on. So you keep saying it the way you say it, believe it the way you believe it, and I'm very proud of you and very encouraged and inspired by you. Thank you.
Wait, Liz, I'm gonna. Should I take this call? Yes or no? Hello? Should I? I'm trying to get our screener over. Should I take this call? Yeah? No? Okay, we'll give it a shot here because it said something from. This is Mark in Rockland, who had said something about the was it the government propaganda thing? Was that what you said to our screener, Mark?
Yeah.
Well, you're on with the guy who made the video, so go ahead. What did you want to say?
Well, I just wanted to tell you, if people are saying you're a government propaganda machine, that's a heck of a compliment, seeing as they're equating you to a multi-million-dollar...
Yeah. Actually, they ought to hire you. They can surely do a lot better than they're doing by themselves. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Why didn't I think of that? In any event, that's because we have listeners. That's why they're smarter than me a lot of the time. All right, well, Lizzie, I appreciate it. And by the way, we have to say Lizzie because the only person who could call her Elizabeth is her father when he's mad. Elizabeth? All right, Elizabeth. Sorry. You stay on the line. I want to get an email address from you if I may, so stay right there, okay?
Okay.
Okay, great. I appreciate it. All right, we'll continue. We'll be back and we'll talk with our guests from Soldiers, Angels, and Chicks in Crisis. You can find those links as well on the website, kfbk.com, keyword Bruce. Please watch this video when you get a moment. Even portions of it are enough to get you kind of tear-ducted, if you get what I'm saying.